moment, it's telling me that it isn't. And I would like to get this figured out, possibly, maybe. Emma says, nope, it isn't. Okay. That's really sad. Oh, wait, no. Okay, I just got a notification that it went live on YouTube. Kiwa says it is. There we go. I'm so glad that's fixed because the last time that I live streamed on here, I thought that it was connected to my YouTube account, but then whenever I started live streaming it, it never went. And sometimes it does take a while. Like it took a couple minutes here for it to eventually feed to the YouTube, but we got it, and that's exciting because I believe it should also make it an unlisted link so people can go back and watch this after, but I'm not sure. I'll go ahead and pull this up on YouTube so I can look at comments on YouTube as well. If anyone does super chat, I will be trying to keep an eye on that to the best of my ability. I'll set it right over there. So guys, this is going to be a mental health live stream. I made a post on Instagram. If you haven't seen that yet, you should go check it out. I think it would help you like understand a little bit more kind of how this live stream is going to go. At Elise Eklund on Instagram, my most recent post, I talk about my mental health issues, what I've been dealing with. So yeah, go check that out. If not, I am going to try my best to explain it here and then like also go into more detail about certain things. Chris says, hey, how's it going? How you been? Chris, thank you so much for asking. I'm going to be going into detail about that. I'm doing good at the moment. It's been a good day so far. And it was really scary making that post. I went back and forth, debated for so long. Like, should I not? Does it look like I'm just asking for attention and validation? Or like, can this genuinely help people? And obviously I came to the conclusion that this is something I should talk about. I have a Capri Sun to help me get through this live stream. Eliana says, are you okay? I hope you're okay. Yes, guys. Okay. At the moment, I know that's the question that like I'm gonna get, and I got it a lot in the comments section of my Instagram post. I'm doing okay. Like, I'm good. Don't worry about me. It's not a situation like where you need to worry about me. I always appreciate the prayer and the good thoughts. Michael, thank you so much for the 400 likes. But like, yeah, don't worry about me. I'm here to share my story and hopefully encourage you guys if you're going through some similar things and you can just relate to it and feel like you're not alone. Because I think the problem with mental health issues is a lot of people feel alone in them. Like, in our minds, we know there's so many other people going through these same things, but like we feel so alone going through them. And I think a big reason for that is because people just don't talk about it enough. I mean, which you can't blame people for that. Who wants to talk about their issues and all the problems that they have in life and like what's wrong with them mentally? It's kind of something that you get a little bit scared about. You don't want people to judge you or think that you're psycho or a whack job. So I completely understand that, but I think for me, I kind of just came to the conclusion that like I need to share this. Tyler, thank you so much for the 400 likes. I really appreciate that. I need to share this because like if it can help even just one or two people to feel less alone and like know that what they're going through isn't something to feel guilty about, if it helps them to reach out to get help from other people, that is why I'm doing this. Emma and Fabian, thank you for the likes. Okay, so I guess I'll just start. Let me read a few of the chats before I completely get into this. Puppy says, I legit am in love with your hair color. Thank you. That is so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Jordan Gamer says, I'm not sure if I can handle this, so bye. Okay, that is a good point, guys. This is a mental health live stream. This is me talking about my struggle in my journey. So I don't know if this necessarily requires a trigger warning. I'm not going to say anything too triggering, but if just like someone else talking about their anxiety and depression and panic disorder triggers you, then this probably isn't the live stream for you to watch. You can just click off and come to the next live stream. However, if you like to hear these type of stories, I'm going to put a positive overall message on it. That's what I do. I'm never just going to leave it off negative. So that's going to be there. Liana says, thank you for everything, Elise. You're welcome. I'm glad that I can be here to share my story. Maddie says, sorry if this is way off topic, but did you change your hair? So it was dyed purple and then I washed it and it faded. So that's what happened. I didn't really change it, but it did by nature just like fade out and change more. Okay, so I've dealt with anxiety pretty much my entire life, like ever since middle school. Well, so not my entire life, because like there are legit little kids in elementary school who deal with anxiety. I would say it probably started around middle school. General anxiety, but like more specifically social anxiety. And for those of you who might not deal with it, like okay, so it's hard for people who've never like been in that situation for them to understand what anxiety is. But basically social anxiety is like you feel your heart racing, you get sweaty, and you just feel terrified of being around groups of people. And like you can be sitting in a room full of people and you're just so scared that you can't even move. Like you can't even get up to go throw away a piece of trash. It's almost like a little freak out. Okay, on YouTube, M. Plute, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. And they have a joke, lighten up the mood a little bit. What animal drinks excessive amounts of cheap wine? A wino. Okay, that was fun. So yeah, I had always dealt with anxiety and it didn't make sense to me. I felt guilty because I have nothing to be anxious about. I have a good life. There are no problems. Nahit, thank you so much for the 400 likes. And it's just something that kind of weighed heavy on me and didn't set right. I'm like, wow, I'm so ungrateful to feel this way, to feel sad and anxious and freak out over these small things when people have it so much worse than me. And it took me years to realize just because there are people who have it worse, there's also people who have it better. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that it's like not valid because of your situation. So I had to come to terms with that I shouldn't feel guilty about this because it is a mental illness. Anxiety and depression are things in the brain that are going wrong. Like it can happen to anyone. So I had to get over that first of all. Okay, I'm also trying to keep an eye on the chat and everything. And more recently, I started dealing with depression. So depression, I would sometimes get like the seasonal depression, but it never was clinical depression until last September, I believe, is when every day was a bad day. I would wake up, not even be able to get out of bed. And I attributed that to laziness. I'm like, oh, I'm just being lazy. And that made me feel even more guilty, which isn't a good cycle to be in because it's just circular. It's like you're adding on to that and you get nowhere. Yeah, I couldn't leave the house. I just felt awful, not motivated. Whereas typically, like, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm ready to go, like, start filming videos, do this, this, and this. I couldn't even respond to simple emails that required like a one-word answer. And then also in September is when I started having panic attacks. So before I had anxiety attacks, like I was pretty okay, like dealing with those and getting through them. But I had my first panic attack. I thought I was dying. I could not breathe. If you've ever had a panic attack, it's like such a scary thing because you legit think you're dying. Over on YouTube, Jaden, thank you so much for the $2 donation. You should work with Marcus Feltry. Thank you. Yeah. It was one of those moments where I was like, wow, what is wrong with me? I have issues. I need help. But I wasn't going to be the one who was like willing to reach out for help. So my mom was like, we're taking you to the doctor. We have to find out like how we can get you help. So I went to the doctor and I was prescribed medicine for anxiety and depression. So I am on medication. The medication did help, not completely. Like I still have my bad days, but versus going from days or a time where like every single day is a bad day and I can't get anything done on any of those days, it went from like I would have maybe one or two bad days a week, or it'd be a roller coaster of emotions. Like I would be really productive for 4 hours, and then the next hour I would crash and be a mess with anxiety and depression. But that's better than like being in clinical depression. And also I want to put a little disclaimer, like medication isn't for everyone, but also medication is not the devil. I feel like a lot of people try to demonize medication, and especially so I come from a Christian background from going to church, and I feel like a lot of Christians will say, oh, your anxiety is a result of you not being close enough to God. Just read your Bible, pray. And I understand, like, yes, those things are good. Those are great. Prayer is very powerful. But, sometimes things do require other ways of being helped. Like we do have medication. For example, like a physical illness, someone who has something physically wrong with them, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. Like if you need stitches, you can't just pray that away. Like your skin is still gonna be not together. You need stitches to fix it up and heal. Just praying isn't gonna do anything for that. Like you need medical attention. And the same with mental illness. Sometimes you do need medication. You need a doctor to help you out and prescribe you something. You might need a therapist to talk you through it and give you good ways of dealing with it. So, yeah, I also had to get past that hurdle of like feeling guilt of people telling me, oh, you're anxious? There's that verse. God says to be anxious about nothing and just in everything by prayer and supplication. I'm like, okay, I'm praying. I have people praying for me, but I still feel this way. And you're going to make me feel guilty. That's not a healthy mindset at all. Like, yes, prayer is good. Prayer is powerful. But if you need help, you need help and you should go get it. And God has given us like things to help us in life. Medication is not the devil, but also, like I said, go to your doctor, make sure it's right for you. If you're dealing with these kind of things, you don't want to medicate just to medicate, like if you don't really need it. All right, so that's kind of like my side rant about all of that. So yeah, I was just like having a bad time with panic attacks, nightmares, like overall, but then the medication did help. And obviously I have relapses where I have bad days. Like last night was not a very good night, but today has been better. So I guess just knowing that like it will get better and the way you feel now isn't going to be the way you're going to feel all the time. Okay, I'm also checking the YouTube chat. Perfect. Oh, wow. There's a lot of y'all watching on YouTube. Thank you. Eddie Chan says, Jesus healed my stitches. Thank you, Eddie, for that $2 donation. And I guess like the positive look that I have on this is, yes, mental illness sucks. You think like, when is this gonna end? When am I gonna get over this? But I know that going through this, it's going to make me a stronger person and also just have a better perspective. Kaden, thank you so much for the 50 likes. That way I can talk about this with people who are also dealing with it. And guys, God is so good. Like, he has been so, so good to me, even in the midst of this trial. And I know that he's working out something good through it. Even if I can't see it now, I know that later I'm going to look back on this and be thankful that he put me through this, even though it really, really does suck right now. I know that like it is for his plan, and I can't always see his bigger plan. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at some of the chat. Common Sophia says, what do you think caused this? Okay, so a lot of times, like, things can trigger people's anxiety and depression, like maybe they have a traumatic experience in life. I don't really have any of that. Like, yeah, some people were mean to me in middle school and high school, but I don't know if that necessarily would be the causing factor of this. I think it's, it's just probably something's wrong with my brain. It's a mental illness. That's all I can say about it. Jeremiah Holloway, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Over 3 million people suffer from depression. And that's the thing, is like, we're not alone in this. Copper says there doesn't need to be a trigger. It can just happen. Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to say, is there doesn't have to be a reason. And that's why I felt guilty for so long, because I'm like, I don't have any reason to feel this way. So why do I? That's so ungrateful of me. And that's the way I felt. But the truth is, like, you can suffer from anxiety and depression without having a reason. Like, it is an illness. So, yeah, there doesn't have to be a trigger there. Raywood says sometimes it's trauma related. And sometimes it is. Yeah, everyone has different reasons. And so whenever I went to the doctor to get help, we also found out that I was very vitamin D deficient, which did or could possibly play a role in my depression. So I also like fixed that and everything, but that still wasn't like the leading cause of it, because even after getting my vitamin D to a safe level, I was still feeling like this. But definitely, like, okay, so I was having a lot of hair loss, and I know what y'all are gonna say. You're gonna be like, well, it's because you freaking dye your hair every week. This was in a time where I wasn't dyeing my hair very often at all. I had taken a break from that, and like my hair was coming out just in clumps, and I cried. I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I'm losing my hair. That was an awful thing. And so I think a lot of that was the vitamin D deficiency. So Ninja says that's terrifying. It was. I had a panic attack because of it. Where was I going with this? David says massive air hug. Thank you. I really need that. Okay, I just need to take a moment and get a sip of my Capri Sun. All right, so yeah, hair loss, not so much anymore. That was probably one of the worst times. And I think some of it, okay, I know earlier we were talking about triggers and just kind of like what causes this. I feel like a lot more of it really came around whenever I started taking on social media full time. So like YouTube, live streaming. Ian, thank you so much for the $2. What medication are you on? It's medication for anxiety and depression. I'm not gonna disclose like the actual name of it, just because like if you need medication, go to your doctor, figure it out. I don't want to be the one to like say this is what I'm on, and then you have in your mind like, oh, this is what I need to be on, because everyone needs different medications for different reasons. So if you need medication, please go to your doctor. It doesn't matter what I take. Go figure out what you need to do for yourself. Oh my word, what was I even saying? Oh yeah, okay, I was saying how with this job of like being on the internet, I don't think anyone is prepared. Like I try not to let the hate get to me, but no one is prepared to constantly be attacked and criticized online. You know, every day when I scroll through my comments, there's a bunch of positive comments. Like, I love you guys and I focus on that. But when you see those negative comments, like even if you tell yourself it doesn't affect you, sometimes just subconsciously, like after you've read it, you've seen it, it's in your mind, it can affect you and mess you up in ways, even if you think it's not. And I think that may also be an issue, or just constantly being like, having everyone's eyes on you. And I'm not trying to say this is like, this isn't what I should be doing. No, like I love my job. I love this, but it is something that I'm trying to learn to work through with like having so much attention, because I always grew up as like the quiet kid. No one ever pays attention to me. So whenever I started taking this on full time, I think that was just a lot of stress and anxiety on me. I just felt so much pressure of like wanting to please everyone. And that's obviously like another character development issue or thing I need to work on, is I know I can't please everyone. So, yeah, just working through the issues of like this job of being online and constantly like having people have different opinions, but like hundreds of thousands of people. It's not a normal thing. Like being an internet influencer, I hate that word, or just internet creator, content creator. It's not a normal thing. Like, no one is prepared to have that many people watching them and picking apart what they do. So yes, what else did I want to say? I like had this whole speech story prepared, and then of course once I start live streaming, I feel like I never say it the way that I want to say it or the way that I thought I was going to say it. If you guys have any questions, definitely go ahead and ask those. Deb says, who helped you the most? Definitely my family. My mom actually was the one who took me to the doctor, and she was the one who set up the appointment. She's like, we're taking you. I don't care what you say. You need help. So I really appreciate that. And then also my sister Eden, she's just always there for me. Whenever we were in Mexico, I had a panic attack. And okay, so in my one video, I said I cried on the bathroom floor for 30 minutes. That's like only half the truth what you guys saw in that video. It was actually a panic attack, but of course for YouTube, I'm not gonna throw that in there. Like, I'm gonna add more humor to it. So she was there for me just to help me through that. Ninja says, what's the difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack? I thought they were the same. My friend had a panic attack once, and that was scary. Panic attack is, okay, I don't know like the actual definition difference between them, but how I distinguish them. Anxiety attacked, how am I, I can't speak. An anxiety attack is just like where your heart is beating really fast, you feel like you can't move, or you're just like overthinking things. Panic attack is where you're like hyperventilating, you might be sobbing. Like you lose numbness in all your body. I couldn't even stand up and walk because I lost all you literally think you're dying when you're having a panic attack. That's the difference. Anxiety attack is just like extreme stress, or you just feel like really, really bad. Panic attack, you legit think you're dying. You don't know. Sometimes, well, when you experience it for the first time, you don't know what it is. So you're like, I'm dying. This is it. I'm breathing my last breaths. Chris, thank you so much for the likes. Ninja says, okay, I've definitely had an anxiety attack many times. A panic attack is way scarier. It is. Yes. Okay. Nahit says, do you have a peer support group? I don't. Okay, so a little bit of honesty hour. I was supposed to go to a therapy session, like my very first therapy session. I actually canceled it, which is probably why I need therapy. What the heck? I just, talking to people gives me anxiety, and I'm like, how am I going to talk to a therapist? Like, I know it's good to vent your emotions, but I'm just like, I'm not going to pay $150 for 45 minutes to like talk to someone. I'll come online and talk to you guys. You guys can be my therapy session. And I feel like what they're going to tell me is stuff that I know what issues I have. I know how to deal with issues. It's just a lot of times I can't bring myself to do it. I'm not saying that therapy wouldn't help. I know it would. I'm just like, for me, I don't know if I'm wanting to make, whatever works for me. Okay, let me look at some of the YouTube chat now. Rachel says, are you going to ever get over this? Okay, so if you read my Instagram post, I did say I think I'm always going to battle with my mind. Anxiety isn't just something that completely goes away ever. I don't think, it could, but I don't think that's very realistic. That's not a realistic expectation at all. But it is going to get better. Like, I know it is. I'm going to work on myself. I appreciate any prayer. Raywood says, it's a journey, not a destination. Very true. Chris says, wait, sorry to interrupt the mood, but is that Pacific cooler Capri Sun? Oh, You're not interrupting at all. Yes. Guys, Pacific Cooler, the best flavor of Capri Sun. It is, you know. It helps. And also, okay, so having my dogs, my little fur babies, especially Sunshine, she's my child. She really helps. Golden Retrievers are good dogs for people who deal with mental illness because they're very just like loving and super docile. She is my emotional support animal, so love her. She helps me through a lot. Which, speaking of her, oh my word, that dog. This morning she puked all over the kitchen. I felt so bad for her, but it was like the worst she's ever puked. And it was so nasty. I cleaned it up and I was like, baby, are you okay? And she just looks so sick. She's better now. She's doing great. But this morning I was like, baby, what is wrong with you? Let's see. Chris says she probably ate something. Yeah, she did. So this is kind of gross, but she eats our other dog's poop, so we have to watch her. But I guess this morning she like got away with it, which is so nasty. I hate it. And then she ran around the yard in the heat, so I think that's what upset her stomach. So it's really nasty, but you know, dogs do it. Dogs don't care. Maddie says, oh, yeah. Obsidian says because the dog food doesn't give dogs enough nutrition. Here's the thing. I feed her good. I'm like, Sunshine, I feed you so good. Do you not appreciate it? You have to go out there and eat cinnamon and sugar's poop. Like, why? I feed you. I treat you so well and you go and do that. Doesn't make sense, but you know, dogs are dogs. PJ says, what is something people can do to support a friend dealing with depression? Just be there for them. Like, understand. I think that's the most important thing. Or not necessarily like understand, because if you haven't had depression, you can't really completely understand. But being there for them, letting them know that you care, and being compassionate whenever they may be having a breakdown or they may just be having not a good time, and instead of lashing out on them or being like, oh my gosh, pull yourself together. It's probably the worst thing you can say is be like, get over it, pull yourself together, suck it up, let's go. That's like the worst thing to do. So just be understanding towards them and kind. It's the best thing you can do. Edgy Child says, why do you only respond to Chris? I'm responding to you now, Edgy Child. I like the username. Caleb says, what is the, I can't speak. What is the, what is, my brain can't work today. Caleb wants to know, what is the best experience in your life? Traveling to Australia was pretty dope. Like this summer, super sick. And in Australia, like I had no anxiety, no depression. It was like, I actually felt normal. That is one time in my life that I felt normal and confident and good. So I think I'm always just going to like remember going to Australia. It's just like this great time. Good time, good memes. Andrea says, I'm so happy that there's still Christian people in the world. There is. There's a lot of Christian people. Okay, I'm reading the comments. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I'm like really slow looking at all of these comments. Emma says, when is the Didgeridoo album coming out? I don't know. We'll see. You know, I've totally already started working on it. All right, so if you guys have any other questions about the mental health aspect, like what I've been through, I'm pretty open about answering anything. Obviously, there's like some things that I'm not going to answer, like the exact medication I'm taking. Obsidian says, do you have any advice putting up with babies going through the terrible twos? My baby bro is turning 2 today. I I worked with kids for a while and I actually found like 2 years old isn't that bad. Like once they turn two, it's still not that bad. I found it's like 3 year olds. It's like they're just cranky all the time. Um, so I think you still might have a little bit of time before the terrible twos. It comes a little bit later, maybe at like 2.5. So just like take a breath right now. Teen threes usually seems worse. Um, Renva Rick, thank you so much for the 2,500 likes. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to find questions related to like the mental health, anxiety, and depression. And like after we're done, we can close that topic and then move on to something a little bit more lighthearted. Majestic M says, how do I explain my anxiety to my friends? I'm scared it'll change their view of me. Um, I know it is a really hard thing to talk about, but they may be going through the same type of thing. So just bring it up and, explain how you feel, especially if it's in a situation where they're not seeing eye to eye with you or understanding how you're feeling. Going into like further detail, it might start to click. Because if you just say, I have anxiety, they might be like, oh, okay. Like you have to explain more of it. Um, okay, let me read some of the YouTube chat. Sorry guys for like this long awkward silence. Rachel says, what did the doctor say? Okay, well, first thing when I went to the doctor, they had me get blood work done because they wanted to make sure it wasn't a thyroid problem because I was showing like a lot of symptoms for having a thyroid problem. Like I was losing hair, I was depressed, anxious, and all that stuff. Got blood work done. It wasn't a thyroid problem, but I was very vitamin D deficient. And then after that, like after they found out it wasn't anything to do with that, then I was put on anxiety and depression medication. That was pretty much it. Also, okay, I did talk to another doctor about panic attacks, and they said that I know this sounds really weird, but a paper bag and doing the whole thing like you see on Chicken Little with the pig, right? Isn't it the pig? Does a little bag and breathes in and out into it. Apparently, like, that's an actual thing for panic attacks. I didn't know that. The doctor said to get a paper bag and do that, which I thought was really funny. I'm like, you see that in Chicken Little, and like you just think, oh, it's like not a real thing. It's just a cartoon, but no, it's actually a thing. I thought that was kind of funny, a little bit humorous. All right, so I think that's it. That's all I have to say so far, or that I know of. Chris says I donated blood, so I got the coupons. Okay, good for you, Chris. Apparently if you donated blood, you got free Chili's coupons, so that's awesome. They like emailed me a free dessert coupon. They're always emailing me free dessert coupons, and I'm like, I don't need this. Their dessert is so good. But like only so much. I need to eat healthier. All right. So we can move on to something else. We don't have to talk about mental health anymore. I've said everything that I need to say. If you want to go check out the Instagram post, it's on my main account, Elise Eklund. I go into more detail there and just kind of explain what it is, and I may have touched on things in that post that I didn't touch on in this live stream or I just forgot about. They disabled my second account on Instagram, which is so sad because L. Eklund was really popping off. That account was doing so well. And I guess they thought I was someone pretending to be me, like a fan who made a page for me. So they disabled it, and I sent in a request to get it back. and I have not heard from them. They're taking forever, and it's so sad because that's where I posted all my trash, like stuff that I was too insecure to post on my main. I'm like, shove it to the side account. No one cares on that. And now it's gone, which is sad. Lexi Lewis says, does talking to us help? Definitely. Oh my word. You guys are like, you inspire me. You make me laugh. I love you guys, and you're all so sweet. So thanks for being here for me. Ted says, I made it to the stream. Yes. Oh, Ted, we like just got done talking about all of the mental health stuff. Losing songs. Thank you so much for the 2,500 likes. But Ted, I believe this is going to be available on YouTube as an unlisted link. So if you have my notifications on, you should be able to rewatch it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we shall see. Daffy says, advice on eating disorders. Daffy, I'm going to be completely transparent and honest with you. I have never dealt with an eating... Well, okay. I don't know how to say this. Like, I have never been diagnosed with an eating disorder. I've never, like, had that be a huge issue in my life. I guess there have been times where I guess you could maybe classify it as an eating disorder. But I'm not going to go into that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I don't want to be the person to give you advice. I think you should go to a professional and get advice from them if you are going through an eating disorder. Like, please seek out help. It doesn't make you weak. That's like one of the strongest things you can do. I don't want to be the one to give you advice because I don't think it's gonna be good advice. So yeah. Daffy says, thank you for the help though. Yeah. And sometimes that's the best advice I can give is like, please go to a professional and get advice from them. I don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about because I don't. And then I'm going to give you advice that's going to end up making things worse. All right. David says, do you have a favorite place to go that only brings good thoughts? That's a good question. I think just anytime I travel and like get out in nature, that sounds really hippie and eccentric, I guess. But yeah, just going on like nature walks in different places, hiking a mountain, just like sounds very calming to me. Freywood says, are you okay right now? I am. And I talked about that a little bit at the beginning of this live stream. Guys, I'm good. When I say I'm doing good, like I really am. I know that these struggles aren't what define me. Like, yes, I'm going through hard times, but at the core of who I am and just like knowing that I find my identity in Jesus, I'm doing good. So yeah, don't worry about me. Like, please don't worry about me at all. Sunshine is a legend says inspirational queen. Yeah, I mean, I don't really consider myself like a super inspirational person. I just speak my truth, what I believe to be true. And you know, if you find that inspiring, that's great. Kemi says, I feel like Will Smith is watching us. I don't know why. He's always watching. He watches everything you do. No, not really. Sophia says, just a quick reminder, you are awesome. We all love your videos. And you as a person, I love your personality. You bring me joy. Thank you so much, Sophia. That is so kind. You're awesome. You guys are all legends. Chris says, I feel safe with Will Smith around. I know, he's watching over us. And then whenever Eden and I move into our new place, we're going to get Paul Blart Mall Cop posters, put those up on the wall, and he will be looking after our home. What more could you want? It'll be the safest home in all of Oklahoma. Kenzie says, mission accomplished. Watch someone drink Capri Sun on camera. Guys, I can't speak today. Like, a lot of times I stumble over my words, but I'm finding that today, I can't talk. I can't freaking talk. Okay, that was a good Capri Sun. You know, in my trash, this is bad. I think I'm addicted to Capri Sun. It's just like my trash is solely filled with Capri Sun, empty Capri Sun pouches, and also those Cliff Bar wrappers. That's like what I live off of. I may have some issues with that. Nahit says, "What's a Capri Sun?" It's a juice pouch. They have like different flavors. So they have the Pacific coolers, they have strawberry, they have berry, they have like a fruit punch, kiwi or strawberry kiwi. They have like all sorts of different flavors. You can get whatever floats your boat. So I tried this strawberry for the first time and I realized I didn't like it as much as I remember. So now I'm just like going all the way with Pacific Cooler. Chris says, "How's the Wii Sports Resorts training?" It's going sick. I have been training so hard for like 20 hours a day. Who needs sleep? Gianna says, "Did you see my fan art on IG? My username is Friggy Bruskeet." Maybe I did. If you tagged me in the actual photo, I probably saw it. How to know if I've seen your post? I usually give it a like and will comment. So tag me in the actual photo and I'll go through my tagged posts and check it out. Anton, thank you so much for the 400 likes. That's very kind. Thank you, thank you. Also, guys, I finished the K-pop challenge, so that'll be up on Friday. I actually need to get the final section of that to my editor so he can finish that. That'll be up on Friday though, and I'm so excited for it. It was such a fun challenge, and I think you guys will like the video, even if you're not a fan of K-pop. I think you'll find it interesting. Just give it a try. And then for the Friday after this Friday, I have no idea what I'm posting, so that's what I need to figure out after this live stream. I'm going to go through that box that I did on Instagram a few weeks ago, asking you guys for video requests and ideas or whatever you want to see. And I'm going to take your feedback and come up with some awesome video ideas that I can post. Guys, I can't speak. Half of this live stream is just me trying to speak. Speech is hard. That E-Greek says, or Theater Geek. Oh my gosh. Apparently I can't read either. What's the video that you had the most fun making and the one that the fans brought you the most joy? The Kids Bop video. Oh my word. More specifically, the Kids Bop concert video. That was the most fun I've ever had making a video. Just a good experience, and the feedback on that was insane. Absolute insanity. Emma says, "I'm getting my hair dyed purple." That's so exciting. I can't wait to see it. That'll be amazing. Deb says you should post a parody of your stutters and can't speak moments. That video would be so long. So long. All right. I'm going to answer a few more questions, so hit me with your best questions. Luke says, "How is Eden doing today?" She's doing good. She's at work right now, so her very first day of school with the kids is tomorrow, I believe. So make sure you guys keep her in your prayers that it goes well. I'm super excited for her. Yeah, but no, she's doing real good. Emma says, "I'm getting my hair dyed purple." Oh, I already read that. I guess I just didn't accept the message. Oops. That's really cool, Emma, though. I'm happy for you. Majestic says, "Is it you with a large amount of siblings?" I have 5 siblings, so I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers. I consider that a lot of siblings, considering most families like have 2 or 3 kids. 4 kids is like considered a big family in today's society. Caleb says I have 15. That's insane. That also sounds really fun. Like, there is probably never a dull moment in your house. Marani says, "Are the flat ukuleles the best for a beginner? I played or 5 years of guitar." Yes, there are definitely ukuleles that Flight makes that are suited to beginners. They're on the cheaper end, but like they're still great quality. So I don't know the model names, but if you get on their website and you look at like their cheapest models, even the travel ukuleles, I think those are around $60, which I know for some people that might seem like a lot, but I promise it's a good investment. That is a fair price for the ukulele that you're getting. I would say as a beginner, spending anywhere from $35 to $70 is like a good budget if you're wanting it to be on the cheaper end, and but still get something that like is good quality. Tyler, thank you so much for becoming a fan. Welcome to the live stream. Ted says, "Are you still active on Patreon?" Okay, guys, so my Patreon is still a thing, and if you sign up for the $5 tier, if you pledge $5, you get a spicy meme on either Instagram or Twitter. Basically, I just like DM you my spiciest memes. So I guess I am still active. And then the $10 tier, you'll get the meme, and then you get your name in the description of my videos as a thank you. So I know I need to work on my Patreon. That's what I'm gonna say. I need to come up with like cooler rewards and stuff. I just always forget about Patreon, and I feel bad that when I promise something and then I forget that like I have these people who have pledged to me and I need to follow through with that. I forget to log on to Patreon. But if you do pledge, I will make sure to send you that meme. Mohammed Jishin, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. I see you on YouTube. Did I miss anyone else's donations on YouTube? If I did, I'm so sorry. I was trying to keep an eye on all of that. Samuel Bartz, thank you so much for the $5 donation on YouTube. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm trying to keep track of that. I want to make sure I thank everyone who has been so generous to give me a donation. Thank you, thank you. And if I missed you, know that I really, really appreciate you, and I'm so sorry I didn't see it. Sophia says, "Do you have any tips on saving money?" That's a really good question. I love talking about budgeting, guys. This is like my bread and butter. I'm a business student. I love budgets. I get really like nerdy about it. 20% of your paycheck set aside. Don't even touch it. If you are able to do that, put it into savings. And then the rest you use to like pay your bills, have spending money, and all that. So if you can just like have that mindset, put 20% of your paycheck in savings. Don't even think about it as spending money. Don't touch it. So that's what I do. Actually, do I have my budget on? No, I don't. No, I'd have to open my Excel doc. Flocon says, "Now that is a topic twist." It is. And honestly, like a lot of times you don't even want to get me started on like budgeting and finance because I nerd out over it and I get so excited. Like, I love it. If I can remember, like basically oh my gosh, Terry, thank you so much for the 2,500 likes. That's insanely generous. Thank you. Lois says same. Oh my gosh, I'm not the only one who like freaks out about budgets. I know whenever people are like, "I'm broke," I'm like, "Let me help you budget, please. I love this. Just let me like do all." Yeah, I honestly should be like a financial advisor. I don't know what I would do with that. I've thought about going into accounting. Like I'm such a nerd. But for budgeting, 20% to savings. This is a personal thing for me. I do at least 10% to tithe. And then what's the other percentage? Well, then I like pay my bills. How much oh my gosh, I can't do math. And then the rest goes to spending. And if I don't spend it, because a lot of times I'm not a big spender, I just put the rest into savings. So Blonde says 10% to tithe. So it's my giving to the church. Bernadita says never get a credit card. Okay. Controversial topic. I actually kindly disagree with you on that. Yes, credit cards can be very bad if you aren't responsible with them. Will Price, thank you so much for the donation on YouTube. I appreciate that. Um, it is a good thing to have a credit score that is good. That was an awful structured sentence. But you want to get your credit score up so if you ever want to buy a house, you're able to get a loan for that. Here's the thing that you have to be careful about. You have to not rack up your credit card debt. So only spend what you know for sure you have in your bank account. Treat your credit card like a debit card. And if you have that mindset, like, I can only buy this if I have enough money in my bank account. And if you budget, okay, that's another thing. If you budgeted, credit cards aren't an issue at all. So let's say I budgeted that I have like $100 in spending money. If my credit card statement comes in at the end of the month and it's $200, I'm going to be like, uh-oh, I didn't pay attention to my budget. And then that's going to be a big no-no. So basically, just don't let your credit card statement be bigger than what you've budgeted. So I actually, like, I enjoy credit cards. They're handy. They're convenient. Just don't go into debt. I have 2 credit cards. I love them. Use them all the time. Yeah. So you don't have to like demonize credit cards. You just got to know how much money you have. And that's the point of budgeting. I think I've gotten my point across. I have like beat this dead horse. Budget and credit cards will not be an issue. All right, that background Slytherin says, yes, I love it. Do you see how passionate I'm getting about like budgeting and credit cards and credit score? I'm like, this is the most passionate I've gotten about anything in a long time. Wow. Raywood says my credit rating is very good and I use credit responsibility. Very true. Chris says I stand a financial queen. Don't even get me started on the stock market. No, that's like, I don't have enough knowledge about the stock market as I want to. I want to know more. Okay. I think I've talked about that long enough. Daffy says, anyone know where a 14-year-old can get a job? Your girl is broke. Okay, Daffy, babysitting. That is a great option. I believe Chick-fil-A might hire at 14 years old. Emma, thank you so much for the 400 likes. If not, there's a ton of other things you can do, like mow people's lawns, elderly people, if you have a mower. Chris says you can walk dogs. Yes, you can do that. Go rake leaves for an old person who will pay you because they don't want to do it. Yeah, just like ask around. Maybe your parents know someone who needs help with something like painting or cleaning or dog walking or, yeah, I don't know. Obsidian says chores. Oh, how lucky you guys who like get paid to do your chores. My parents never did that, and I'm not saying like that's bad of them. It's just how our family operated. We were just like expected to do chores and never got money for it. It's just kind of like you all pitch in. But if you get paid for chores, be like, hey, mom and dad, I want some spending money. What chores can I do so I can like go out on the weekend with my friends, go to a movie or go get food or do this? And I would think most likely they'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, my child is actually wanting to be responsible and like do chores and earn their money instead of just asking us for money. So, you know, even if they don't normally give you money for chores, if you present it to them like that, like, hey, mom and dad, I really, really like want spending money. Can I please earn it by like vacuuming or mopping the floors? And, you know, you'll be surprised. Doesn't hurt to ask. Sophia says, same though. I never got paid. Yeah, same. Art Z Show, thank you for the $5 on YouTube. I really appreciate that. There actually was a time, I think it was like for 2 weeks, my parents decided they were going to start doing allowances. So they would give me like $5 each week, but then after 2 weeks, they like forgot about it. And then we never got an allowance again. So that was kind of funny. They're like, okay, we're going to do allowances. And I know some families do that where like the kid will get um like a certain amount of money for the week as spending money. But then also my parents, if I ever said I was going out with friends, they would like give me spending money. So I guess like they never paid me for chores, but also if I did ask kindly every once in a while, they would give me some money. Yep, that's that. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Chris says, Elise, wait, is that an XR that I see? Chris, yes, it is. I finally upgraded my phone after like 7 years. How long has it been? Okay, so the previous phone that I had was the iPhone 6 Plus, but that was actually a hand-me-down from my mom. The last phone that I had that like wasn't, oh wait, actually no, all my phones have been hand-me-downs. The first iPhone 4 that I had was a hand-me-down from my mom. And then I upgraded to the 6 a year ago. Rams Dennis, thank you so much for the 400 likes. So yeah, I had an iPhone 4 for a year or 2 years. Yeah, I didn't get an iPhone until like I was 19. iPhone 4, iPhone 6, and then all the way up to the iPhone XR, baby. Luke says your phone looks awesome. Thank you. I was really excited about it because this is like one of like, well, it's the only phone I've ever bought because I was on my parents' plan, but then after college I like started paying for my own phone. Unusual Jersey, thank you so much for the 200 likes. And I was like, you know what? Using my phone is like a huge part of my job. I'm always on Instagram and always responding to comments. I think it would be smart to invest in a nicer phone that, you know, doesn't suck as much. The camera is a little bit better. Hopefully you guys notice that my Instagram posts are getting better quality because of the camera. Yep. Flocon says my first phone was like a brick. Deb says, is Insta worth getting? I love Instagram. I do. Brienne says, that was nice. ASMR. Thank you. Alrighty. So yeah, that covers my phone. And I also got this cute case from Amazon. And I actually really like it. I didn't know how I was going to like it. I always get super nervous about ordering anything online, really, especially cases. And I was like, what if it doesn't protect my phone good enough? What if it looks ugly in person? But then when it came down to it, it was cheap. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's affordable. Oh my word. Evelyn, thank you for the 2,500 likes. You were so sweet. Honey, what kind of phone do you guys have? I'm curious. Are we Android or iPhone users on here? What kind of iPhone? Olivia has iPhone XR. Fountain Pen Desk has Success. Luke, you're an Android user. What? I need to convert you to iPhone. Gacy says iPhone 8. David says Google Pixel. Gianna's Android. So we do have quite a few Android users on here. That's fun. Very fun. But yeah, if you're looking to upgrade your phone, what was I saying? I like the iPhone XR. I know some people are concerned about like that it doesn't have a home button. I actually like just being able to swipe up and exit out of things, and I don't mind the home button being gone. Yeah. I don't have any problems with it. I think it's a nice upgrade. I know some people are like, iPhone XR camera sucks, but let me tell you, going from the 6 to the XR, the camera quality is like improved so much. I don't have any complaints about it. I think it was James Charles who tweeted like, the iPhone X camera is awful. And this is when I still had my 6, and I'm like, what I would give to have a better quality camera than the 6. So yeah. I like it a lot. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off this live stream. I hope that you guys enjoyed the topics that we covered today. I hope you learned something. Chris, thank you so much for the 500 likes. You're always so generous. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I hope that I will see you guys at the next live stream and we can chat and hang out. This was a lot of fun. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye.